Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and fellow youth, my name is Nissa Bek, and I am a youth climate activist from Libya. Today, I address you with a heavy heart and a sense of urgency. As we gather here, not just to discuss climate change, but to confront its devastating consequences head on. The world around us is changing at an alarming rate, and this year has proven particularly harsh for many. In 2023 alone, we experienced 86 days with temperatures surpassing 1.5 Celsius above the pre-industrial levels, with September marking the hottest recorded month ever at 1.8 Celsius above the pre-industrial level. As UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says, it is no longer global warming, it is global boiling. Instead of listing off all the disasters we've witnessed this year, I want to tell you all one story that highlights the urgency of our situation, a story that is close to my heart. On September 4th, Storm Daniel wreaked havoc across Greece with over 2 feet of rain. As it traveled through the Mediterranean, warmer sea temperatures fueled its strength, turning it into a Mediterranean storm with characteristics of a cyclone. Upon reaching Libya, the intense rainfall overwhelmed already dry and compacted soils, causing the rising floodwaters to breach neglected dams above the coastal city of Derna. Thousands of people were swept away by water at night, turning a dystopian Hollywood scene into a tragic reality. Despite enduring 3 civil wars, this event stands as the greatest disaster our country has ever faced, leaving a profound impact on every Libyan. During these negotiations, it is crucial to remember that climate change goes beyond the melting ice caps and shifting weather patterns. It's about people, our families, our friends, our community. These people are more than just numbers on your annual reports and financial spreadsheets. They are real human beings who will suffer the consequences of the decisions that you will make. This is time to turn your words into action. Otherwise, the lives lost in Derna will have been lost in vain. And we will not let that happen. We understand that some here wanted COP28 to be an opportunity to make fossil fuel deals. We understand that the global north think tanks are trying to push climate vulnerable solutions to accept carbon markets and fossil fuel expansions as climate solutions. We understand that fancy PR agencies have been hired to help fossil fuel industry and the countries beholden to it mesmerize us with glittering array of new empty promises. But we will not let them get away with it. We will not let the fossil fuel industry pretend that the world is making good progress on the climate crisis. According to the IEA, oil and gas companies currently account for just 1% of clean energy investments globally. 1%. And yes, the announcement of the loss and damage funding is a step in the right direction, but it's a small step. Beyond the $70 million humanitarian agencies have asked for to help meet the most urgent needs in Derna, early estimates are already in the hundreds of millions of dollars to reconstruct the flood-stricken city. And this is just one single extreme weather event. The loss and damage fund will only be a band-aid if fossil fuel continue to be produced. Loss and damage from climate change cost $1.5 trillion last year alone. But we will not let you tell us that taking action is too hard to do or that it costs too much. Last year, fossil fuel revenue amounted to $4 trillion. Oil and gas companies are drowning in profit while thousands of people in my country are literally drowned. Oil and gas companies. In 2022, the governments of the world, you, allocated more than $2 trillion for military spending. There is plenty of money for when countries want to go to war. So don't tell us that you cannot find the money to help save humanity. We will not let you get away with it. Why? Why? Because our generation and the ones who will come after will have to live with the consequences of your decisions. The International Energy Agency has been very clear. There can be no new oil and gas project if the world is to limit the long-term average rise to 1.5 Celsius. We understand this is negotiation, but you cannot negotiate physics. You cannot negotiate gravity. You cannot negotiate whether the sky is blue or not. Although, with all the illegal gas flaring here in the Middle East, it's often hard to see any blue sky whatsoever. The success of COP will ultimately be judged on one thing and one thing alone. Will the world leaders gathered here summon the courage to finally address the root cause of the climate crisis, the burning of fossil fuels? That's it. It all comes down to this. The new commitments being celebrated here as historic will count to very little unless leaders at COP28 agree to a just and equitable fossil fuel phase out. This is the moment of truth. Right now, we will not let you waste it. Do not let the thousands who were dragged into the sea and drowned in the middle of the night die in vain. This is not the moment to reduce. This is not the moment to make excuses or exceptions. This is the moment for fair, fast, and funded phase out of all fossil fuels. We are here, we are watching you, and we have waited far too long. And it's time to make what has already been deemed inevitable begin now. Thank you.